the pull and all that's generally based upon lymph and what it does to the muscles and stuff. So you can go back and show parathyroid here as well. Maybe even to the pituitary, linking to the unusual craving of inorganic material. So I would say that then you had ADHD, and again back to the adrenals, neurotoxicity, which neurotoxicity could have contributed to the pigeon toed, along with, there's the adrenal again, the autonomic nervous system, the weakness of the myelin sheaths. You have the hemoglobin citrate, similar to sickle cell, you say, arthritis in the knees. You weren't moving your lymph. So you weren't moving lymph and you weren't utilizing calcium. Hence you see why you craved the elements. So really, I would hit my parathyroid gland, definitely hit my kidney and adrenals. You're older now, I take it, so really go after that, sweetheart. And you should pull yourself out of there and keep getting yourself well again. And just dig deeper into your body and keep going till you make it happen. Make this happen. It's like Kelly. Make it happen, Kelly. Don't sit there and complain about it. Make it happen. You know, you got plenty of people willing to help you now. Thank you for the comment there, the Puritan 6. Good man, thank you much. Yeah, we're talking about dogs and grapes. How about dogs? Someone made a comment on dogs and chocolate. I never did see a dog die of chocolate, but I see it mess up the bowels and kidneys. But I don't think anybody ever died of too much chocolate, did they? I would have probably been dead years ago, probably. Rita. Could you tell me the calcium and magnesium levels in my hair? You know what? This was an interesting question to me, and I'm going to have to think on this one because I left my biochemistry 37 years ago, and my God, you know, I just have kept my life so simple, mainly into the God thing, but I even forget definitely something pushing your cow meg up there, and generally you would have something antagonistic to that, and I just can't remember all that's pushing that up there. I just can't. Detox will straighten it all around, but I have to go back into my causal body, my memory body, to remember, because so many labs have different opinions on that. So I'll be back on that one. Someone asked me about my April classes full. I don't think so. I think we're talking about limiting it to 200 or 100. I don't know. You have to ask Kathy there. So Mike, call Nature's Botanicals and ask for Kathy, although Kathy's leaving Friday, and this is Monday. She's leaving for Massachusetts for a month. Someone asked me an important question here, and I want to get to that, and that was about cancer. This yoga by Kate. A comment to Kelly about drinking a lot of green juices with parsley and dandelion. Good comment, yoga by Kate. Two great herbs. I love them. Just really love them. This comment. This comment was on cancer cells. Oh, this was a good comment about the alcohol. And someone came back and Tangerine Grubin, but talked about the alcohol and the fermentation. Good point. A lot of people want these fermented foods. Well, what are you getting when you ferment your foods? Hello. So, excellent point. Well taken. I thought you did good with that response. People complain about that alcohol. Let me tell you, when you're malabsorbed, you want it. Glycerin's more lipid-based, so it's going to block. Alcohol is going to suck through that malabsorption. I tell you, there's a lot of benefits to that. But remember, this is an alcohol that's been merged with the life of a plant, so it's not real alcohol. It takes on a life of its own. Strong, but we've had a lot of recovering alcoholics on these and never had a problem. I think we had one guy that had a little bit of a problem with them, but certainly I don't. Thanks for the King Colleen. I think that I hope I do give you some. And I like this emergency kit here too. I hope this does give you some power to take this down the road for yourself. And JG, thank you for your comments too. I really, you guys are just really hitting it right on. Someone asked me about the recluse mode, but I want to also say thanks, babe. You guys are doing great. This is Baby and Earl. You guys were in here. I'm glad you liked your appointment here. I try to run my appointments as if we are friends, and I need to get you to understand what the causative problems is. I want you to relax in here, because when you relax, I can get a better reading on your blood pressure. Your kidneys are going to filter better when you relax. So my job is to make you feel good and put a smile on your face, not to give you bad news and to be negative. This idea, when you walk out, I sent a advanced client case to a chiropractor because he had a machine that could do some analyzing. I just was curious, and by the time my client walked out, he was depressed and unhappy, and I had to work him back out of that. And I thought, worthless chiropractor, because you know what? The idea is to get your folks excited about what they're doing and to feel better and to go down this road. So thank you for the comment. Always glad to see that. Oh yeah, 4-month-old puppy got into mom's nightstand and chewed up the bag of baby Hershey's. Ooh. Yeah. This question, I wanted to go over this, was about cancer cells. Here it is. You made the comment that cancer cells do not pop out of one cell and move to another, yet I know that when research scientists want to induce cancer in lab mice, they will inject them with tumor cell solutions that are the actual cancer cells, which seems to me that cancer cells are malignant, meaning that one cancer cell produces more cancer cells. How do you explain that? Scientists cause cancer by injecting cancer cells into lab animals. And I asked this question with the full belief that your program really... Yeah, I understand that. And I understand the question. So let me... I hope you can read this. And I'm just going to give you a little quick chart here to show you this. And I hope I can hold this up and show you this. This is just say a tissue out of the liver here. And what we have here is we have blood, your blood vessels, and you have your lymph vessels. In here we have cells. And all these individual cells have spaces around them, and these spaces are called interstitial spaces. I hope you can see this. I can't tell. Now, you have blood capillaries. That's the smallest little veins you see, basically, little capillaries that bring in blood and take out blood into this interstitial levels of the cells. And on this side, you have lymph capillaries that take waste away. The blood capillaries are very small as opposed to the lymph capillaries. The blood capillaries can't take cells, therefore you never see cancer malignant cells in the blood taken out of tissue. But where can you see them? You can see them in the lymph nodes, right? Now, why would you see a cancer cell in the lymph nodes? What's the job of the lymph nodes? To break down these cells, unless the lymph node itself becomes cancerous. The lymph node itself could become cancerous if lymph stayed around there too long, just like anywhere else. I don't even know that you can take a cell into the lymph node. This is what they're claiming. So have to understand that if a cell, like a macrophage, can't terminate a cancer cell or cells, your immune cells can't terminate them, they have to take them to the lymph nodes to be terminated. That's where you find your most aggressive immune cells, is in your lymph nodes. This is just fluid that breaks down cells. Yes, if I damage a cell, that cell will replicate its damage. That's genetics. It's also cancer. It's also anything. It's just the way cells are. Cells don't replicate its strength on top of its weaknesses. It's replicating in the real time, in the moment. And that's why I say it's important to understand that in the link with genetics and how the same thing's happening in genetics. We're weakening our cells. A malignant cell is just a damaged cell. There's nothing else out there. This isn't a disease that has a mysterious nature to it that somehow is etheric. It has nothing to do with that. So to think that a cell can somehow make it bypass the lymphatic system, get back into the blood and carried, or even carried through the lymph system back into a bunch of tissue somewhere else is insanity. Now, whether you can influence other cells by injecting cancer cells in the blood of something or in the tissue of, like going into a tissue of cells and injecting cancer cells in there, I don't know. I'd have to see that to actually believe that. The medium by which you cause cancer could be, definitely. The acidic medium, definitely. You could inject chemo, you could inject a solution of acid that's near battery acid and create a cancer cell fairly quick. You know, in chemo, you can form cancer cells within months, maybe even weeks. So yes, that is possible to inject an acid that causes that. But to say another cell from a human cell that can be injected into a rat and mysteriously make their cells become malignant is questionable at best in knowing how the body works. If you understand the body working in another way, let me know. But that's basically what we know in physiology, is that you have blood and lymph, and you have all these capillaries. The lymph capillaries takes in the acids, the proteins. The blood capillaries are too small for a good reason, because you can't dump acids back in the blood. That would be insanity. That would be insanity. Even carbon dioxide has to be reconstituted to get a little bit to water and break down to where you can have some reabsorption. But not all acids are broken down into bases and reabsorbed. That's crazy. You're going to pee them out if you can, and if you can't, you're in trouble. So that's all I can tell you about that now, honey. So, but I would, just keep on moving down the line there. I would just have to see their research. I don't trust any of these people. It's all about the money as far as I'm concerned, because when you understand how the body works, the same fluid is going to damage cells throughout the body. In other words, if I give you chemotherapy and your cancer doesn't move from one spot to another, I'm running chemo through the blood, and I'm going to hit every cell you have from head to toe. Anywhere you've had lymph stagnation and you've had acidosis damaging tissue, that's going to accelerate that damage. It's going to be a far bigger burn. Remember, chemo is 10 to 50 times hotter than the acids that cause cancer in the first place. So it's going to accelerate that process, particularly if you have any atypical cells. So these aren't, and yes, they're going to replicate themselves. That's the problem, is that, and that's a problem we face in genetics, I might add. So from that question was a good question from that viewpoint, to understand that genetics is a real issue. Genetic mutation of cells is a real problem we're facing. Acids are a reality that we have to understand. And the lymph system is a reality that we have to understand. And you guys are understanding it real well from what we can. Because there's a lot of voodoo science out there called the medical profession. And that's voodoo stuff. I like chemistry and physics, and I like real science. But the greatest science that we have available is nature. No one can slough that off. That is a living biosphere like no other, at least what we have access to right immediately. And so that's where the answers are. And so, there's going to be conflict in thought on some of these things, and so that there is. Let me see. Someone asked me about the times that this guy, the funky bo nuts, or boo-boo nuts.